Remember, if you want more detailed information on this restoration, you can go to the links down on the bar right below the video, being the links to the iBoats thread, which it has all the pictures that you could ever want on this restoration, my Facebook page, facebook.com/Frisco Boater, and my website, friscoboater.com. friscoboater.com has a blog that's usually updated also, just like iBoats.com, but the first place to look is my iBoats.com thread for any updates. And if you want instant updates, make sure you like my Facebook page, because that's where I kind of post my thoughts as I'm doing things. So enjoy the video. Hey guys, well, it's another weekend. Last time we left off, we put all the peanut butter down in between all the seams and got the deck completely done. So the order for this weekend is to put 1708 times 2 tabbing on the deck, and then we're going to foam this thing. If we have time, we're going to put the chop strand over the top to finish this thing completely out. Then we can start building the gas tank structure, and then hopefully in the next week or two get this cap back on this boat. So anyway, it is time to go. I got my new order from US Composites of 1708 on Thursday, so there's no excuses. Let's do it. So Dad got out here this morning and spent about 30 minutes with a DA sander and just kind of went over everything. He rounded off all the corners here really nice and neat and got rid of any nibs that can cause us problems. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take our 1708 and go all the way around on all these seams, and we're going to cut a small section, probably 4-inch, and then about a 6-inch section right here, so that way we can get nice tabbing onto this deck. And then we're going to put 1 layer of 1708 right here, I think. We may go 2 layers, but that can create you a big hump right here in the middle. I'm not sure we're going to do the seams in 2 layers, because there's going to be 2 layers of chop strand over the top of this. And I need to go back and kind of reference my videos from the C-Ray to see if I did 2 or not. I just cannot remember if I did 2 or not, but we'll address that when we get to it, but I think it's only 1. But anyway, we're gonna get this all cut out. What I do is I cut every one of them out and lay them out all over where they need to be, and then we'll mix up a bunch of resin and have a nice resining party. And then I'm gonna put down 1 layer of chop strand down there in the bottom, just to kind of finish out that bilge bottom, so when it's painted, it looks really nice and pretty. So we're gonna start cutting and get this thing done. Well, you can see we have all the deck completely laid out. What we started with is we went with a 4-inch underneath this. You can see here there's a 4-inch tab, and then we went with about a 6.5 to 7-inch on top. I went back and reviewed my videos from the C-Ray, and I did nothing on the seams. The reason being is all of the seams fell on bulkheads and they were screwed. So it really didn't need the strength, and of course we went over the whole deck with 2 layers of chop strand, so really is not a big deal. However, this one, all of the seams are floating, which means they are not supported by anything, and I want to make sure they're nice and strong, so we're just going to put 1 layer of 1708 4-inch tab across it just to make sure and make everything nice and sealed. So we're going to mix up a huge batch of resin, and we're both going to hop in here and start laying all this stuff down. Should go pretty quick.
Get that out of the way.
We're just finishing up the last bit of all this. We end up using almost 2.5 gallons to do this. You'll be amazed at how much resin gets soaked up all this fiberglass. And what I'm doing now So I'm going around to every single spot and making sure that all air bubbles are pushed out. And the edges and stuff like that. Looks like we're doing pretty good, actually. What we're going to do is let this kick off completely, let it get nice and hard, and then we're going to drill holes in a perfectly good deck and fill it with foam. And I'm running low on resin, guys. I might not be able to finish what I want to do this weekend. Well, the deck is officially tabbed in. We are prepping to do our foam pour. We come up with a plan. Is what we're going to do is we're going to start by drilling a hole here, a hole right about there, and I'll drill some. We're going to draw some circles and show you. We're actually going to let it fill up from the bottom instead of trying to tilt up like I originally thought and let it all run down. That's kind of hard to monitor, whereas what I can do is I can pour in and we can keep adding to it as we go, and we'll just kind of cut some different holes. Don't worry about how many holes you drill because you're just going to patch them up with peanut butter, so it's not that big of a deal. We're going to do one side first, make sure that my theory is 100% sound, and then we'll move on. So we've got 4 compartments. We have this one compartment that starts all the way from here and goes all the way up to about where the heater is. Then you have the second compartment, which is right in the middle, the main stringer, then 3, and then 4. So obviously this is our biggest one on this side. The tabbing went wonderful. It is strong as steel. And I went ahead and rolled out the, put some resin and coated the deck so that way it can soak in a little bit. Kind of actually looks like a bar deck or a bar, what do you call it? A bar top in here. It looks really, really nice, kind of shiny and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and cut these holes, and then once this is done, we're going to put peanut butter in it and kick it, and then let it seal off. I think that's all we're going to be able to do this weekend because we're out of resin and I can't buy it until the Monday morning. So anyway, this is where we are so far. So we're going to start drilling some holes. Make sure you keep your pucks because you can put them back down in here and seal up the hole, and it means having to use less peanut butter. I'm going to put one more right here. Okay. Here's the foam we're going to be using. It is 2-part foam, 2-pound foam, 2-part foam, same thing. And you use them in 50-50 mix. So that means a 1 part to 1 part. So if you do it 16 ounces, you do 16 ounces of the other. What I do to measure this out is we're going to start with a single quart, or 2 quarts actually, and we measure them out. So we do 2 quarts, and then we pour them into 1 bucket. You don't ever want to try to mix them together, and you want to keep them separate. So then we're going to go to this big one. So we'll do part A, part B, and you make sure you always keep part A with part A and part B with part B, and you pour it in this guy. And then we're going to mix it up, and then we're just going to pour it right off into each little hole, and then watch. And then hopefully we're going to get this nice and full like we did the Sea Ray. Alright, so we're going to start with just a pint at a time, which will make a quart of material. There's my, what is this? This is part A. This is part B. And it says to mix it for 25 seconds. Remember last time we didn't get that far.
One, two.
It's not going to make it that far. It's cooler outside, so therefore it's not going to go as quick. Reminds me of cake batter. There it goes. As soon as it comes up here, I'm going to put this 2x4 over it, which is going to force it to go up to this next hole. I'm going to hold this for about a minute because that's about what it takes for it to fully expand. And you always listen for anything that's doing weird. Okay, so the first pour got us all the way up to just past this little hole. I re-drilled this hole, or I just drilled this hole to see kind of where we got to. And it's nice and firm right here, so it's right about there is where it stopped. So that tells us exactly what 1 quart will do, which is good. It filled up this whole section right here. So we're just gonna move forward from here. I'm gonna put this back in here and just leave it, because we'll peanut butter in here in a little bit, and we're gonna start mixing and go forward. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix a bigger batch this time, or not, we'll see. We're going a full 2 quarts. Not a drop spill. Look at that. That's some pro. Just watch it come up, and then cover it as soon as it gets to the top.
Oh, that is weird watching that grow like that. Go, look at that.
All you can do is wait. There it comes. It's like a.
Oh, look at it. Oh, man, check it out.
It looks like a lava flow. There it comes up here now.
You're losing it.
Had to lose some air.
No.
It's full. It's completely
You
full.
sure?
Yes.
It didn't stop right there?
Yes, I'm telling you. Yeah, it is absolutely full.
I'll make sure it just went all the way.
Oh, it had to go to is right here. It's done.
Well, that's not that much out of there.
No, it really isn't. That's. There you go. What I'm doing here is drilling extra air relief holes. What we noticed whenever we just used the big holes is that there was times that the air was getting trapped and it couldn't get out. So we decided to go ahead and drill a few more 3/8 inch holes between the big holes to let extra air or foam that gets trapped. It'll definitely help you from cracking your stringers if it builds up too much pressure. The foam, if it builds up pressure, it can actually rupture the bottom of your boat if you're not careful. All right, here we go. Oh, sticking to the deck. Okay, on this mix, we've decided to go ahead and go with 2 quarts again.
You ready?
Yep, go. Because we have such a huge cavity to fill, it should be okay. Really figured that would have covered more.
Let's said, that's a pretty deep cavity.
Wow, I'd forgotten how nasty that foam is. It's all done, which I'm pretty happy with. Now, if you remember correctly, back in the very first part of the build, we said we were going to build a couple of small boxes to hold the battery and the trim punt. We haven't built that yet because I can't build it until I get the cap back on there, and those are going to be filled with foam also. They're not going to be very big, and we've got a lot of foam in this boat. I have, right now, we've gone through two 16-pound kits, which is basically 4 of those 1 gallons. So we have a total of 4 gallons of foam underneath this deck, from front or from the back all the way to the front. And I tell you, one thing you got to really remember when you're doing this is to drill a bunch of relief holes to let air and stuff like that out, because what it does is it traps air. In the Sea Ray, we had individual bulkheads, which made it very easy to kind of trap the foam, and then that way it doesn't create hard spots and start cracking. There were some times that I had to really pay attention to where this stuff was going, so that way it didn't crack the hull or pull up something. So you kind of can hear it, you can listen for it, and you just make sure you keep. What I was doing is I was taking my paint stick, and then what I do is I kind of stick it down in the hole and let the air out. Once I did that, everything went great. It was perfect. You just got to kind of really be careful with it, because this foam can break stuff. It packs that much pressure. So now I'm done for the day. Matter of fact, I think I'm done for the weekend. I'm out of resin. I can't get anything till Monday morning. And we need to take the DA sander to this entire deck and then peanut butter the pucks back in. So I'm at a standstill once again, but we're, like I said, we're moving along pretty good. It's mid-January right now, and we've already got the deck in. And we're about ready to put the cap back on. So, what are my plans from here on out? Next weekend, we're going to put like I said, we're going to get I say next weekend. I may have time during this week. One day I don't have anything scheduled. Might be able to get these things the pucks peanut butter back in, and then put chop strand over the deck. Once that's done, we can start building the front structure. So, and that's the gas tank holder, all this stuff like that. And I've got a really good idea of what I'm going to do for that, because it's basically a couple of 2x4s that hold a false floor, and you got to make sure you cover those things in fiberglass. And I've got a good idea. I'm going to kind of steal an idea from my old, how I held the seats up off the floor in the Sea Ray. Do something similar. But anyway, you'll have to wait to see that down the road. But anyways, that's where we are so far. Not a real exciting day. Like I said, pouring foam is about as much fun as kissing your sister. So I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll be on the water here in the next couple of months. See you later.